Back in Queens, moments away from tip-off between number 3 Villanova and St. John's. As we take a look at the updated Big East standings, Seton Hall winning a short time ago against Providence. But St. John's started 1-5, now all the way up at 5-6, and a chance for a signature win tonight against Villanova. As we take a look at the starting lineups, and more good news for St. John's is Greg Williams, who's missed the last 3 games with a back injury, is available tonight. He was a game-time decision, went through warm-ups, and Mike Anderson can go to him if he so chooses, as Williams says he's ready to go. Now, no surprise. Let's keep it simple, Steve Lapis, because the turnover battle is the big key tonight.
Well, there's no question. These two teams are completely different. Mike Anderson likes to force 17 turnovers a game. That's 14th in the nation. Villanova, #1 in the nation, fewest turnovers per game. That is where the game is going to be won and lost. Plus, the tempo. The tempo of St. John's, number 12. The tempo of Villanova, number 328.
Jay Wright told us you can't simulate St. John's speed in practice. So what he felt was important was these opening 5-10 minutes to get a feel for just how fast they are.
Yeah, because he can't put that kind of athleticism out there with his second team and with a bunch of walk-ons. So he's going to find out early on how his team is going to be able to handle this pressure. One of the things that Villanova has going for them, and that's why they don't turn it over, they have 5 guys on the floor at all time that are good ball handlers. Big key against the pressure they're going to see tonight.
Brian O'Connell, John Gaffney, Evan Burrows are the officials, and we are underway. First of 2 meetings this season between Villanova and St. John's.
And you see St. John's, they will switch a lot of screens.
Jeremiah Robinson-Earl, the rebound, then knocked out of bounds. It'll stay with Villanova.
You know, that's a little thing to keep an eye on too, Andrew, is the rebounding. Villanova has really beat St. John's badly on the glass the last 4 years.
Jay Wright in his 20th season at Villanova. The only loss coming back in late November against Virginia Tech, as Samuels doesn't get the bounce.
You cannot give any of them, even though Samuels is the worst three-point shooter on their starting team, well, him and Robinson-Earl, but you can't leave these guys open like that.
Posh Alexander, the Big East Freshman of the Week for the 2nd week in a row. He's been on a tear for the Red Storm. He's got the ball here, spinning and not scoring. Is that one halfway down and out? Gillespie working on Vince Cole, and Gillespie wins that battle.
Their guards are so good. First of all, Villanova plays with more space than any team in America. Gillespie was in the lane all by himself. There was nobody near him to be able to help. All the Villanova players are good inside the post area.
Samuels poked it away from Roberts. Ball is still loose, and now Jermaine Samuels has it. Robinson-Earl brings it up the floor. Over to Moore for 3. It's good. Justin Moore.
And Justin Moore is having a tremendous year. He's one of those guys, he's shooting 33% from the three-point line. But when I look at their stats, I say, he's got to be better than that. But that's what he is. He just seems to make them all when you see him.
Julian Champagne's first shot won't go. Offensive rebound and done. Champagne's second shot is off the mark.
You know, one thing, I watched that Seton Hall Villanova game the other day, Andrew. In the first 4 minutes, I noticed every guy on Villanova, that's a rare turnover, especially unforced. One thing that we see all the time with them is different guys will bring the ball up. In the first 4 minutes against Seton Hall, everybody brought the ball up at least once. They all are very comfortable handling the ball.
You see Robinson-Earl brought it up there, over to Justin Moore for the triple after a rare Villanova turnover on a as you call it, unforced error. It's St. John's basketball just over 2 minutes in. Rasheem Dunn jumper off the front of the rim, and St. John's still cold to open up this game.
And they've gotten some pretty good looks so far. You can't do that.
Wide open is Gillespie, and he misses, but Robinson-Earl taps it back out.
And they do a great job of tapping those balls out. The ones that they can't get, they're taught to tap them out like that.
Early substitution for Jay Wright as Cole Swider has checked in for Caleb Daniels. Robinson-Earl with the putback. St. John's coming off a very impressive win on the road Sunday at Marquette. They were up 15 at the half. Marquette clawed back, and St. John's held on, winning by 2. Their 4th consecutive victory.
Well, they got key plays from 3 different guys down the stretch against Marquette, one of them being him, who, Posh Alexander, that's a big key to his future, and he's lately been much better and more comfortable taking that 3-point shot.
First points of the night for St. John's, showing some full court pressure. Posh Alexander, so dangerous.
They're one of the most pressing teams in America, and I'm talking about picking up full court, besides their traps in the half court. But you know, Villanova's really hard to trap because they have such good spacing, and they all, as I said, can handle and shoot the ball. So it's hard to get them in positions to trap them.
Alexander launches again from deep, and this one won't go, but a second offensive rebound for Roberts. Out of bounds to Villanova. Mike Anderson, his 2nd season here in New York. He's an Alabama native, coached at UAB, Missouri, Arkansas. We asked him, have you ever seen a snowstorm like the one we had
That's
on
a great
Monday?
question.
And he said, you know what, maybe once or twice in Missouri, but that thing, it snowed all day.
I tell you what, he's never seen. He's never seen a losing season in his whole career as a head coach.
More important
That's
than
what
snow.
he really has never seen. That's an incredible number.
Of coaches with at least 15 seasons, there's only 4 active in the country without a losing season. Mike Anderson, Roy Williams, not Roy Williams, he lost last year. Mark Few, Sean Miller, and Tom Izzo.
It's pretty good company.
Yeah, not bad. Robinson Earl from the outside.
And in Robinson Earl, 28% 3-point shooter, but he just seems so comfortable taking those shots. And here's where St. John's gets into trouble. Their half-court offense, not great. They rely on getting those turnovers, and when they don't, they can get bogged down a little bit.
It'll be Villanova basketball when we come back. 15:21 to go in the first half.
And it looked like Colin Gillespie was going to turn one over there. Instead, Robinson Earl with the 3. Nova up early.
College basketball on CBS Sports Network is sponsored by Old Trapper Beef Jerky. What's your beef? By AT&T 5G. Fast, reliable, secure. And by Reese's Peanut Butter Cups.
123rd meeting between these two schools, and some great players in this rivalry. Is out of the timeout. Villanova turns it over.
That was a surprising decision there.
Slater knocks it out. A bit of a surprise as well to see so many early substitutions for Jay Wright. Eric Dixon is on the floor now. We've already seen Slater and Swider.
Yeah, I mean, and they're playing pretty good, so it is surprising to sub that much that early, because they don't really, first of all, they don't have a deep bench. We know that we've seen their whole bench already in this game.
Vince Cole hits the 3. Before that shot, St. John's was 1 of 8 to start the game.
I mean, he's the second best 3-point shooter for St. John's. Cole is really, he got 14 points in the last game that they played against Marquette. He can shoot the ball.
Slater brings it across. And here is Dixon down low. As Villanova sets up its offense, coming off a win Saturday against Seton Hall. Daniels blocked from behind, but a foul is called on Vince Cole.
Foul number 15, Vince Cole. That is his first foul and first team foul.
So here's Caleb Daniels at the line. Of course, everyone knows Villanova, the 27-day layoff, 2 separate pauses because of positive COVID tests in the program. And since they've come back from that long layoff, Daniels has struggled. Just 4 of 15 from the floor and averaging 6 points per game in those last 3. He's an important cog for Jay Wright, the transfer from Tulane.
Yeah, because they really, Andrew, only have 3 guards. You know, when you think of it, it's Gillespie, Moore, and Daniels. Everybody else really is a small forward or forward, so they really need him to play well.
Alexander, offensive foul. It was Gillespie who drew the charge.
I think Mike Anderson was saying that he was inside the restricted area, but he was not.
So Alexander picks up the foul and more full court pressure by St. John's.
I mean, to me, that's an easy call. I mean, Alexander went up way out of control on that one.
Dylan Adaiwusu and Marcellus Earlington have entered for the Red Storm.
Look at the spacing. Nobody in the lane. And this is what their guards do so well. They get in there, they post up, then they pass out, then they use a post move.
Moore bounces it to Daniels, and his baseline jumper is good.
They worked on that in the shoot-around before the game. Hit the corner, screen, space out. They did it for 20 minutes before the game started.
Dunn had it poked away. It was Moore who got a hand on it. Robinson Earl corrals it, and now Gillespie does not have numbers. He'll still shoot it from the free throw line, and it comes up short.
St. John's needs to push the pace. When they do make a stop, they've got to go.
Adaiwusu, the impressive freshman, can't get that one to drop off glass, and then it's touched a couple of times on the baseline, and the call will be St. John's ball.
Well, you take a look. Robinson Earl, it first starts with the drive by Daniels. Then they screen, draw the help, and they leave a guy all alone.
Daniels takes his seat. Swider back on the floor.
And you know, this Villanova team is starting to get better defensively. That's where they really were, I don't know if you want to call it struggling, but that's a really good move by Posh Alexander there.
And he hits.
That's what happens when you switch Swider onto him. He could get taken by Posh Alexander, and he did that time.
Samuels defended by Champagny, and Champagny got a hand on it. Champagny does so much, including block shots. He's 8th in the Big East.
Yeah, he averages over 1 block a game, so that he does do a lot of things, Andrew, as you said. Right now, St. John's playing with a small team. The biggest guy out there is Champagny. That's not a bad move by Mike Anderson to try and go small a little bit.
That was a tough pass by Adaiwusu, and Champagny hit the floor hard. And they're going to get Samuels for the foul.
Yeah, they're saying Samuels went under him when he went up for that lob. Yeah, that's a foul. That's a foul. That's a good call. Absolutely. You got to give him his space to come down when he jumps in the air.
And Champagny will come out. And Greg Williams has come in. So he missed the last 3 games with a lower back injury that he suffered against UConn. A game-time decision. He's out there right now for Mike Anderson, and that jumper is good from Isaiah Moore.
Another kid from a junior college who's starting to get a better feel for what Mike Anderson wants. But we really haven't even seen St. John's put on a good trap on anybody yet because it's so hard to trap them. Look at the spacing. You're worried about everybody shooting a 3 even though Dixon doesn't shoot them. This might be an opportunity for a trap here.
Gillespie. Now Moore with the shot clock winding down. And Justin Moore has got a sweet stroke.
Best shot faking team in America is Villanova. They shot fake. It helps to be a good 3-point shooter. That's a good shot by Adaiwusu, who I think is going to be a very good player. But Villanova, they're so good at shot faking because you're worried they're going to make 3s. They make almost 10 a game. Here comes the trap now.
Moore over to Swider.
Very patient in the half court, Villanova. Here's the post up by the guard.
Moore inside, no, and tipped out to Adaiwusu. Pushes it up ahead to Posh. St. John started 1 out of 8, and since then 4 for 6.
Earlington's been playing well there. He's got to make that one.
Gillespie blocked by Earlington. It'll be Villanova basketball when we come back. Villanova and St. John's Justin Moore getting it going early, but the Johnnies have found their shooting touch. Adaiwusu from the outside. Villanova, #1 in the land, but St. John's ready to storm the Philly parade. Pons, oh, he picks Brunson's pocket. Then on the other end, he buries the three. Pons now driving in and hits.
What a shot.
Brunson for three. No good, and St. John's has done it.
How often does #1 lose at home to an unranked team? Not very often.
Almost 3 years ago to the day we were in Philadelphia to see St. John's take down #1 Villanova. Here's a list of the Red Storm's all-time wins against the AP top 3. Trying to add another line tonight. Last time they won here, in this building, 1966 against St. Joe's. In fact, this is the first time a top 3 team has even played in this building since 1980. Syracuse was the team, and Louis Orr hit the game winner late. Cole Swider gives Villanova a 6-point lead.
That's a good pass. Oh, he charged.
Offensive foul.
You got to jump stop there and be under control. Have a 2-foot jump stop and then pass it to the corner.
Foul on Isaiah Moore.
St. John's fouls on number 13, Isaiah Moore, his first.
Swider trying to get it in, finds Gillespie, right back to Swider. Greg Williams defending Samuels. Look at the ball movement by Villanova. Gillespie, though, can't find the bottom. Samuels skies in for the board, and a tie-up. The possession arrow favors St. John's.
Samuels is such a good glue guy. He does all those little things. He's not a really good three-point shooter. He's probably the worst ball handler they have, but boy, he does so many things for them.
Well, Alexander brings it up the floor. Hey, Steve, Julian Champagnie, 0 for 2, has not scored yet. In fact, he's not even out on the floor right now.
Yeah,
so
I mean,
he's been quiet.
And he's been so consistent this whole season. He's been terrific every game.
He scored at least 12 points in every game. But Alexander hits again.
This guy is getting better and better every game, and that's a huge. He does so. He's a great defender. He attacks every second. He plays so hard. First time I saw him play, I called my son up as an assistant at Fairleigh Dickinson. I said, do yourself a favor. When you go recruiting, recruit guys that play like Posh Alexander, that play that hard.
AAU and high school teammates with Adaiwusu, and the two of them have really made a big impact. Mike Anderson said the freshmen have really started to grow up.
Good pass.
Williams! I think the back is okay, as Williams with the big throwdown.
You know, he ran the floor hard, but it was a terrific pass from Posh Alexander. And, you know, Greg Williams, he's an important guy on this team. He's one of the best three-point shooters in the league, and that's something they always could use.
Swider for 2, and that shot is short.
And you got to keep pushing it, because they're at their best, as we said, 12 tempo.
Alexander step back 3 is an air ball.
Not a great selection that time.
How about Greg Williams? Wasn't sure if he was going to play because of a lower back injury.
His back looked pretty good there.
Jeez.
Posh with his head up all the time. I didn't like that last three-point shot that he took. The other ones he took were all good looks.
One-point Villanova lead.
Isaiah Moore now on Justin Moore.
Moore, patience. Nowhere to go. Good defense by Isaiah Moore.
You know, they go in the post so much, their guards, but they don't turn it over in there. If they don't have something, they kick it out.
Shot clock at 3. Robinson, Earl, no. The putback by Samuels won't go. And then we get a foul on Jermaine Samuels. That's the second foul on Samuels. So he's going to head to the bench, and Brandon Slater checks in. And you were talking about an extra guard, and talking to Jay Wright today, he still is hopeful that Brian Antoine is going to be able to get back at some point this season. Shoulder surgery, that poor kid has had so much bad luck in his career at Villanova, but they're still hopeful. He's practicing as Moore with the dunk, and St. John's has its first lead of the night.
Yeah, one thing about Villanova, they definitely are hurting for another guard. They've got all forwards on the bench to start the game. They could use another guard.
Robinson Earl for three.
That was a pretty good defensive possession, because that was not an easy opportunity. There's Wusu.
Another three.
Oh, I like this kid too.
And Jay Wright calls timeout. It's a 10-0 run for the Red Storm. They're doing it without Champagnie. Greg Williams is back, and he's back big for St. John's. St. John's, with Julian Champagnie still scoreless, leads by 4. Super Bowl week coverage continues with that other pregame show as the CBS Sports Network crew breaks down all the recent news and gets you ready for the big game tomorrow morning, 10 Eastern, on the 24-hour home of CBS Sports. St. John's has made 7 of its last 11 shots, and Posh is right in the mix.
Well, Posh has been terrific in this game. His floor game, making shots. How about this? St. John's is 5 out of 9 from the three-point line. They usually average 7 threes for an entire game. They've got 5 already in this game. Villanova, we got to understand, is 8th in the Big East in three-point defense. Their three-point defense so far hasn't been good, and Posh has been terrific.
8 points,
every
3
aspect of the
yeah,
game.
No doubt about it. And again, doing it without Champagnie, who is back on the floor. He's 0 for 2 so far in the first half. Champagnie, the Big East's leading scorer, averaging just under 20 points per game. What adjustments early, again, does Jay Wright and Villanova have to make, Steve?
Well, the big adjustment they got to make is they got to get back in transition and find people, and they've got to guard that three-point line a little bit better than they're doing so far.
They're also missing shots. They've missed 10 of their last 12.
I think that the way they play, they say, yeah, we'll start making them at some point. I don't think they worry about that. I think he worries more about what they're doing defensively.
Shot clock's at 5. Gillespie waits for the screen, dribbles it off his leg, out of bounds.
That was really good one-on-one defense.
So already 4 turnovers for Villanova. They average just over 8 per game.
Colin Gillespie trying to cross over. Adai Wusu just put his hand right down there where he was crossing over and got him to kick it out of bounds.
Champagnie, catch and shoot 3. Air ball. He's now 0 for 3. Swider brings it up, and an offensive foul on Cole Swider.
There's another example of Villanova. That time they cost him a turnover, letting a different guy bring it up than Gillespie. Let's see if they can get Champagnie more involved in this game.
Had a team-high 22 on Sunday against Marquette. As we approach 6 minutes to go in the first half. Done. And Robinson Earl clears.
He gave that up quick when he saw Posh Alexander was on him.
Jay Wright barking out instructions from the Villanova bench, and now Justin Moore setting up the Villanova offense. Dixon for 3. It's good. His first three-pointer as a Villanova player. He's 0 for 5 this year, the redshirt freshman.
Well, I had him as one of the guys that couldn't make them, so maybe everybody can make them now.
First points in about 5 minutes for Villanova as Champagnie still remains scoreless.
Got to find him.
Daniels, quick shoot, and he makes it. Back-to-back threes for Villanova.
It's hard enough to guard these guys. You've got to find them in transition. The only way to do that is to really sprint back and talk it out, but get to the three-point line.
Cole answers for St. John's.
You know, sometimes these junior college guys, they take a little while to come around. And Cole, you know, Mike had put him on the bench a little bit a few games back, and he's really starting to come around.
Last 3 games, averaging 14 points per game. Gillespie goes to the ground, harassed by Alexander, gets rid of it to Dixon, and that's going to be 10 seconds. Villanova does not get it across.
I mean, Villanova with 6 turnovers, they average a little bit more than 8 a game. So let's say this, St. John's pressure has bothered them.
Jay Wright pointing out that, you know, when you miss time like Villanova has, a month away from basketball, they've been playing catch-up a lot at practice, things they normally would have covered by now, and a lot of those things do not include a press offense. He said we practiced it this week for St. John's, but it's not something that's been a part of our regular routine since we came back from the layoff.
Because very few people press this much like St. John's does.
Roberts for 2.
St. John's 28-25.
3-point St. John's lead with 4 minutes to go in the first half. Good defense by Champagny. Back out to Daniels. His 3 won't go. Rebound Robinson Earl. Right back up. And that won't go as well. Out of bounds to St. John's and a timeout. 3:38 to go in the first half, and a real nice start from Mike Anderson and the Red Storm. Looking for a signature win at home against number 3 Villanova. Coming up on AT&T 5G at the half, Adam Zucker, Ryan Hollins, and John Rothstein will get you caught up with all the action in college basketball. Plus, we'll have first half stats and highlights all coming up on the AT&T 5G at the half. How about Villanova already with 7 turnovers tonight?
And St. John's has 8 points off those 7 turnovers, so very uncharacteristic of them. But St. John's is a team that forces over 17 a game, 14th in the nation. We talked about it. That's how they play. Over 9 steals a game, almost 10. And it's showing tonight, that defense.
In the last 7 minutes, Villanova has just 6 points. They're 2 of 10, and 5 of their 7 turnovers have come in the last 7 minutes.
Oh, Villanova went to their zone. They only played this about 4% of the time during the year and have not done it real well so far.
Cole misfires from deep, and the rebound to Moore.
I don't think it's a bad move against St. John's. St. John's not a great three-point shooting team, even though they're making them tonight. It stops them from penetrating off the dribble a little bit.
Another offensive rebound for Robinson Earl, and a nice handoff to Gillespie. Those 2 teammates with the same exact amount of points on the season, tied for the team lead, averaging 15.5 per game.
And you see what this zone is doing. It kind of makes St. John's stand. Oh, no, now they went man-to-man this possession.
Alexander, miscommunication with the man who has mentored him, Rasheem Dunn.
And a good cut. Gillespie doesn't stand around. Posh lets him get by him, and he ends up with a layup. One thing about Gillespie, you're guarding him, you can never stop because he is moving. A lot of guys can only play with the ball. He can play with or without it.
Here's Daniels, just inside the stripe, and it won't go. Dunn races the other way. Extra pass. And now it's in Champagny's hands, still looking for his first points.
Very good transition defense that time by Villanova.
St. John's 7-2 at home this year. 2-2 in the Big East. Moore out to Swider, fakes the corner three. Now we'll put it up from deep, and it misses another, but another offensive board. Robinson Earl, Gillespie can't make him pay. Tipped around and still with Villanova.
And it's what I said before, when they can't rebound it, they tip it.
Gillespie, and he will still have possession.
Robinson Earl is really good at tapping balls out that he can't get to.
Robinson Earl already has 6 offensive rebounds tonight. But his jumper is off the mark. Villanova shooting 30% in the first half.
It's going to be hard for St. John's to win this game, though, if Champagny does not get going.
Alexander, tough shot. Spicy from Posh.
That was just nice.
10 points for Alexander. He's in double figures for the 11th time this year.
The only way I could describe that was with my Manhattan accent. That was nice.
That works. We're in Queens.
Works. That's right. Not quite my borough, but it works.
Close enough. Moore tries the double, trying to get away. He does to Swider. He puts up the 3. Villanova just cannot buy a bucket here in the second part of this first half.
One of the best three-point shooting teams in the country. But you know what? Give St. John's credit defensively. They've made them a little uneasy, and that's making those shots, even when they're open, a little bit harder.
Cole spinning on the attack. No. And the shot clock turned off for Villanova. They can hold for the final shot.
They should be holding this out.
Instead, Robinson Earl puts up another shot and misses.
That was not a good. Jay is not happy with that shot.
Erlington with 3 seconds. Erlington puts one up. No good, and that will do it. Not a pretty first half for Villanova, but give credit to St. John's. They played tough defense. Villanova just 5 of 18 from 3. And Jay Wright goes into the locker room down by 3. When leading at the half this year, St. John's is 9-0. 30-27 at the break. You're watching college basketball on CBS Sports Network, presented by Old Trapper Beef Jerky. College basketball on CBS Sports Network, presented by Old Trapper Beef Jerky. At the half, St. John's up by 3 on number 3, Villanova. Hi again, everyone, with former Villanova coach Steve Lapis. I'm Andrew Catalan, hanging out in the stands here at Carneseca Arena. If there were St. John's fans in the house, they'd be pretty happy with what they've seen so far.
They absolutely would be happy. They've held the number 4 best offensive team in the country to 29% shooting. So St. John's defense has been very good so far.
Let's take a look at these Sleep Number first half stats, and the shooting numbers way down for Villanova. 5 of 18 from deep, just 29% from the floor. Posh Alexander's been big for the Red Storm.
Well, he's been terrific. He's the guy that makes the Red Storm go. The defense starts with him on the ball. But keep in mind one thing with Villanova. They usually take a lot of threes, but 18 of their 35 shot attempts have been three-point shots. What does that lead to? Only 2 free throw attempts for Villanova in this game. They normally make 14 foul shots a game.
Hard to believe St. John's is up at the half, and their leading scorer, in fact, the conference leading scorer, Julian Champagny, yet to score. He is 0 for 4 from the floor. But as we pointed out, Posh Alexander leads all scorers with 10 points, including getting it done from deep. First 12 games for Posh, he was 3 of 16 from beyond the arc. Last 7 games, including tonight, 12 for 29.
His comfort level from the three-point line is night and day.
Gillespie, rough first half, and it continues early here in the second. Gillespie now 2 of 9 and 0 for 5 from deep.
And against Seton Hall the other day was the first time this year he did not make a three-point shot. So he's really struggling from that three-point line.
Champagnie, good defense. Robinson Earl got a hand on it. Gillespie trying to get on track, and Dunn getting back quickly.
Another shot fake.
Yep, Justin Moore. Samuels was scoreless in the first. Daniels launches.
Very good half-court defense by St. John's that time. I think Villanova's got to look to drive it a little bit more. Settling, hey, they're a great three-point shooting team. I think they're settling a little bit too much for the three.
There is Moore coming in for the rebound. Such an underrated part of his game, averaging 5 rebounds per night. Last year it was only 3. We've seen the sophomore step up for Jay Wright this year. Robinson Earl, nice spin, but poked out.
I like the idea of trying to go inside a little bit more, whether it's to Jeremiah Robinson Earl on the block or one of those guards getting into the lane and posting up.
Number 2 against number 2. Gillespie on Champagnie. Gillespie. And he still can't find the touch.
And Champagnie did a good job just at the end when he left his feet, but he was able to get away with it.
Cole for 3 is good. Vince Cole from the outside.
And that was a pretty good cross-court pass right there.
Largest lead for St. John's. Daniels, dangerous pass. Gillespie tracks it down.
They're getting close to a lot of steals now, St. John's also.
Robinson Earl blocked by Champagnie. 3-on-1 for St. John's. Alexander to Champagnie. Pretty play on the break. Timeout, Villanova.
They got a double technical foul there. Posh Alexander and Colin Gillespie.
Little extracurricular after that. But how about the play by St. John's?
A great block. This is a picture-perfect fast break by St. John's. Johnny's up 8.
Tomorrow night, 7 Eastern, we get you ready for the big game with wire-to-wire coverage. We'll break down the matchup and give in-depth analysis. Super Bowl live on CBS Sports Network. We asked both head coaches their predictions for the Super Bowl. Both are going with Kansas City in a relatively high-scoring affair.
Well, I'm not surprised Jay Wright went with Andy Reid, who was in Philly for so long. Even though Bruce Arians was a Temple coach.
That's true. Good point. Mike Anderson was at Missouri for a while. We were told during the break that Brian O'Connell did not give technical fouls. He just told Alexander and Gillespie to go to their benches. So no fouls after that play. But another 10-second call.
Jay is not happy, obviously.
You give a lot of credit to St. John, Steve, but Villanova's a little rattled right now.
There's no doubt, but you know what? This Villanova team is one of the best half-court offensive teams in the country. You have to give St. John's all the credit in the world in that Villanova is not on their game in the half-court at all.
Not this time for Cole, and a big rebound for Samuels.
They've been disrupted, and they are usually, as I said, one of the best offensive teams in the half-court in the nation. There's another bad pass.
Alexander up ahead to Dunn, and he lays it in.
You know, the one thing that St. John's does, they make you do things you don't want to do. Villanova can't take their time. They have to try and push it against these traps, and it's really got them thrown out of whack completely.
10 points off turnovers for St. John's. Gillespie, can he finally get one to drop? No.
And that's the other thing. They've got Villanova sped up a little bit. Villanova usually takes their time in the half court.
Rasheem Dunn said the key for St. John's was to play this game at their pace. They've done that tonight. This is the way St. John's wants to play as Robinson Earl lays it in.
And even that, Villanova scored there, but they scored quickly. They didn't score the usual grinded out pace where they're controlling the tempo. So St. John's is fine like that. Let's go up and down.
Champagny.
Well, he hasn't been able to buy one.
The two stars, if you will, Champagny and Gillespie, neither one has got it going tonight, although Champagny with the block defensively. Dunn, cross-court pass, Cole doesn't hesitate. It's another! 12 points for Vince Cole.
I'll tell you what, Andrew, I had St. John's a couple of weeks ago. This is a way different St. John's team.
And Moore is fouled. Well, Julian Champagny not getting on the offensive side, but how about his defense?
One of the best shot blockers in the conference. He shows it there. Villanova down 11 in the second half.
Tomorrow night, 9 Eastern, we continue with more college hoops as the #1 team in the country, Gonzaga, takes on Pacific. Catch it all on CBS Sports Network. The projected #1 seeds, according to Jerry Palm. Well, Villanova on CBS Sports Network tonight. Gonzaga tomorrow.
Yeah, those right now would be the #1 seeds. I mean, Houston lost today. Houston was probably right on the outside of that.
Lost to East Carolina. How about the Red Storm picking up where they left off in the first half?
Well, I think they've been terrific defensively. They have really taken Villanova out of their half-court game with their defense. I mean, Villanova shoot 24% from the field. I think Villanova is settling for a lot of three-point shots. They're not making them. They've only taken 2 free throws the entire game. They average 14 makes a game. I think they got to get back to trying to take this thing to the basket a little bit more and be more aggressive in that area as opposed to just settling for the three-point shot.
8 threes tonight for St. John's. And on the defensive end that you pointed out, the Red Storm have 6 blocks. Villanova without a block as Moore hits the first free throw. Villanova has to get Gillespie going. He is 2 of 11 and 0 for 7 from deep.
And you know what he's not doing? He's one of their better guys at taking it into the post and playing around in there, whether he kicks it out or takes it up himself. They've got to start to get to that ISO game in the middle of the lane going like they usually do so well.
Arlington, that's a 2.
You know, this has been a really Achilles heel for Villanova all year. Their three-point defense in Big East games is 39%. That is at the bottom of the league, and it's showing today against a team that doesn't normally shoot it this good.
They get it across, Swider.
That's a bad pass.
Oh, bad pass. Turnover by Villanova. That is their 10th. Their season high this year is 11.
And there's a classic example of Villanova being sped up. Normally they would take that out and start grinding it out, but no, they forced it and they turned it over. Bad spot.
Yep, and Dunn knows it. He calls timeout right away with 14:50 to go. 42-31. St. John's in front on CBS Sports Network.
This has got the steak and the sizzle.
The tots on this are just crispy and they're flavorful.
This will keep you out of my tots.
Sonic Extra Long Ultimate Cheesesteaks. Yeah, this might keep me out of your tots.
The lasting cologne scent of Old Spice Dynasty helps get you off your couch and into the driver's seat.
42-31, St. John's in front. First time Villanova has played in this building since January 8th of 1994, when Steve Lapis was the head coach. There's Jay Wright. How about some of the pictures from that game, Lap?
Kerry Kittles.
69-68 Villanova victory. You were down by 10 at the half. Came back to win Our producer, Scott Brandwine, sent us the box score from that game, and the first thing I looked at, see if you had any technical fouls. You were clean.
I was clean.
You were clean.
Come on. You know, Harry Paredes watching the game. He was the great Villanova coach, women's coach for like 40 years. He says that he tapped me on the shoulder during the game about making a sub, and that was the difference in the game. That's what he's telling me. He doesn't know what he's talking about.
Here is the box score from that game. Jay Wright told us he can't remember the last time he was in this building. As you see, Kittles went for 21 that night. They could use him tonight.
Our three-point defense was pretty good, by the way.
Jeez, 0 for 3.
I think it had more to do with them than us. But yeah, that was a great win. And it's one of those games that I remember the bus ride home so well, because it was like a noon game, and it was a beautiful sunny day in February, I believe.
Yep.
And we were on the bus going home, and it felt so good. 2 o'clock, we're on the bus after a great win. Yeah, that was a fun day.
Not a fun day right now for Villanova. They have to try to find something. They were down at the half in games against Georgetown and Providence earlier this year. Came back to win, but St. John's has sped them up all night long. 10 turnovers for the Wildcats.
They got to get back to controlling this game in the half court. They got plenty of time. They don't have to get crazy and start pushing it all the time up the floor. Travel, lucky with that.
Slater, a lot of contact, offensive foul.
It's a good call. I like these young kids from St. John's. Adai Wusu, he made an unbelievable drive against Marquette in their last game late. That was a big shot in that game. Good job there, drawing the charge.
Villanova has now matched a season high with 11 turnovers tonight.
Oh, you got to make sure you never stop as soon as you cross half court in the corner. Villanova switching everything like they normally do. Good pass.
Moore inside. Tough two for Isaiah Moore.
Adai Wusu saw that Colin Gillespie had switched to Isaiah Moore and threw it down to him with the mismatch.
Dixon, nice handoff. Samuels tied up on the low block. Comes out to Dixon, who draws the contact, counted in the foul. So Eric Dixon hit a 3 in the first half, and now a chance for a 3-point play.
Well, he's lucky on that one. That could have been a charge.
Suffered an Achilles injury last month. That really slowed him down, but as Jay Wright told us, he's been coming along.
Yeah, he's really improved. Well, that's one thing about the Villanova program. These guys improve every year.
Only 9 players have appeared in a game for Villanova, fewest of any team in the country. Turnover by St. John's.
Lackadaisical pass by Dunn.
Gillespie, he stepped out.
Wow. You don't see him make this many mistakes in 4 games.
Jay Wright was on John Rothstein's show, Stuffed, and Jay told John the greatest feeling in the world is to go on the road and you know you have the toughest and smartest guy on the floor in Colin Gillespie. And that is true, but Gillespie has not been able to get anything going tonight. A season-high 3 turnovers for the veteran point guard.
And now Villanova trying that zone again, which I think is a very good move.
Dunn doesn't get the bounce, and Samuels takes it off the glass, and a foul on Isaiah Moore. Love this story that Jay Wright shared with us today, that earlier this morning he called Lou Carnesecca, the Hall of Fame St. John's coach, and the two talked for a while. Lou actually left Jay a voicemail that Jay said was very meaningful when Wright contracted COVID around Christmas. And they talked for a while today, and as Jay Wright said, it was like talking to the Pope, talking to Lou Carnesecca. And Carnesecca today was telling Jay some pointers about how to coach as you get older in your career. They had a great conversation, but Jay told us that at the end of the call, Louis said, just so you know, I'm rooting for my guys tonight. But it meant a lot to Jay Wright to have that call with Lou Carnesecca today.
Louis, one of the best, Hall of Famer. By the way, Rasheem Dunn has been a little careless last couple of possessions with the ball, turning it over. I'll never forget, Louis told me once, we were on a Nike trip, he said, Stevie, do one thing. I said, what's that, coach? He said, put the money in the mattress. Put your money in the mattress. Save your money, put it in the mattress. Never forgot that.
526 wins for Lou Carnesecca. Alexander, and it rattles in. Everything going St. John's way with 11:40 to play.
And you know what you don't see of Villanova ever? Their body language not great right now. And you never, ever see that on a Jay Wright team.
Samuels shot fake for two. No. Scramble forward in the lane. Still loose, and now a tie-up. It'll be Villanova basketball when we come back. Posh Alexander has a dozen tonight for St. John's. Looking to pull the upset in Queens. So far tonight, Villanova with more turnovers than field goals. A season high, 14 turnovers by the Wildcats.
Yeah, St. John's has been imposing their will on Villanova really the whole night. 14 turnovers, they have 15 points off of those turnovers, and that's what we talked about before the game started. Whose will is going to win out? The team that doesn't turn it over ever, or the team that turns people over all the time? And right now, it's been the team that turns people over all the time. They had Villanova completely out of what they want to do in the half court.
15 points off turnovers for St. John's. And I thought you made a great point about Villanova in terms of the body language. They need some kind of spark right now. They got to get something going here. Maybe it's this man, Gillespie, who continues to struggle. He's 2 for 11.
And maybe it's this little bit of pressure that they're putting on St. John's now. Try to get something positive going for them with that 1-2-2-3 quarter. And they're back to their man-to-man.
What's even more stunning about this St. John's lead is that they've pretty much done it without Champagnie. He has been a forgotten man tonight. Adaiwusu's three, no. Foul won't go by Moore. Gets it back, puts it in, and the foul.
I tell you, I see a big difference in Moore and in Coles from the beginning of the year.
Well, Mike Anderson did suspend Isaiah Moore for one game as he put inability to meet team standards. That seems to have sparked Moore in a positive way.
And he had Coles buried on the bench for a couple of games, too. He was shooting a lot more early in the year. Now he's shooting less and shooting a really good percentage.
Largest lead tonight for the Red Storm. And a whistle inside. That's going to go on Isaiah Moore. That's his third. Let's see where Villanova turns. Robinson Earl swatted away by Adaiwusu. 3-on-2 for St. John's. Adaiwusu over to Alexander. His step back two won't go. Rebound Earlington. Put back no. And the rebound to Robinson Earl. So a couple of good chances there for St. John's. They come up empty.
They're blocking a lot of shots.
And that time Earlington's called for a foul. 7 blocks tonight for St. John's.
I mean, that's Adaiwusu, a guard, blocking Robinson Earl there.
Well, you look at the first 12 games of the season for St. John's, they allowed 80 points a game. But over the last 6, they've only allowed 69 points per game. Josh Roberts starting has been a big part of that. He's provided a defensive presence. But as Mike Anderson told us, the key for them defensively has been they're connected. They've been in the system now for a while, got some games under their belt. They talk a lot, and there's a pride level with this St. John's defense, and it's certainly on display tonight.
I like what he said to us today about when they trap, or was it yesterday? They all run into each other. Yesterday, that when they trap now, and a guy gets out of an offensive player gets out of the trap, they are ready to cover it up quicker. And that's what they weren't doing. When they got out of traps, they were going right to the basket, scoring teams early. Not now.
Alexander splits the D, gets it back, and scores. 14 for Posh Alexander.
3 times Big East Freshman of the Week. It's probably between him and Dawson Garcia for Freshman of the Year. Right now, I think he's got the edge at the moment.
They've each won that award 3 times. 9.5 to go. Moore. Oh, great play with Robinson Earl.
That was Posh Alexander. Should have been in there helping on that.
Villanova's 9-game win streak is in jeopardy. It would be just their 2nd loss of the year. Burlington 3. Inside 9 minutes to go. Daniels nearly lost it. Gillespie's calling for it. Daniels deep 3 is good. Big shot for Villanova. And they are back within 10. And a timeout by Mike Anderson. 8:34 to go. Jay Wright's team on the comeback trail.
I have type 2 diabetes.
I've pricked my finger
Too many times.
My A1C was still over 9.
Then I got the Dexcom G6.
I just glance at my phone and there's my glucose number.
No finger sticks. None.
Yes.
Holy cow.
My diabetes is no longer a mystery.
My A1C's dropped over 2 points to 7.2.
That's a huge victory.
I feel like I'm calling the shots, not my diabetes.
St. John's leading by 10 over Villanova. Take a look at Posh Alexander right here. He's in a good position now with Colin Gillespie, no doubt about it. But now he's got to be able to get in here to help out a little bit when he sees Robinson Earl diving to the basket. He's kind of caught in between Gillespie and Robinson Earl. He's got to give a little bit more help to his big man on that roll there.
One timeout left for St. John's as Villanova is on a 7-2 run. Champagny still with just 2 points tonight, and he's called for an offensive foul.
Good defense by Robinson Earl that time, moving his feet, staying in front.
Champagny has scored at least a dozen in every game this year, but has not been on track tonight. Twin brother Justin, sophomore at Pitt, leads the ACC in scoring. He's at 20 points per game. Champagny at 19.8. And those two talk all the time. They know each other's stats. Still competitive between the twins. Moore for 2.
Really good switch by Champagny that time to Moore. Contested that hard.
A Daiwusu drive. Oh, what a take from a Daiwusu.
He looks like a linebacker, and he drove it like a linebacker.
6'4", 235 from the Bronx, and a Daiwusu's got 9 points tonight.
Well, you're the football. Is that a linebacker, or could he be a defensive end, maybe?
He could be a middle linebacker.
Middle linebacker?
Yeah.
When I say defensive end, if you put like 50 pounds on
him,
he's
going to have to gain some weight to do that. Erlington could be a defensive end. In fact, he was in high school at Don Bosco Prep in New Jersey.
You know, St. John's has to be careful because this team, even though they don't look good at all right now, they don't die easy.
Champagny for 3. It's good! Timeout, Villanova. You knew it was just a matter of time before he would get it going. And now it's a 15-point St. John's lead.
Adaiwusu with the great drive to the basket. And then Champagny finally drills the three. St. John's up 15.
The world is yours. The world is
Let's have a look at the game summary brought to you by AT&T 5G. A season-high 15 turnovers for Villanova, and Posh Alexander's been fantastic tonight, Steve.
He's really been good on both ends of the court. Their defense starts with him. He's so good on the ball. He plays so hard, and now he's able to make three-point shots, looks so much more confident than he was at the beginning of the year. He's really starting to look like a big-time player.
Villanova has scored at least 80 points in 6 of their 12 games, and their season low in points is 71. They got 41 with 7 minutes to go.
If something big doesn't happen, look at Posh.
There he is, the steal, and Posh with the jam. This kid. 7th in the country, averaging just under 3 steals per game.
He's not just good, Andrew, he plays so hard. That's what makes him good. That's a talent, though. You know, let's not talk about playing hard like it's not a talent. That is the best talent to have, is playing hard.
Champagny called for with a foul. Well, Mike Anderson called Posh Alexander a one-man press.
Look at this. I mean, yeah, it was a poor pass. But still, he's so all over Colin Gillespie. And let's face it, even though they switch a lot, he's got something to do with Colin Gillespie's shooting night tonight, too.
And Posh, along with Mike Anderson, point to the relationship he has with Rasheem Dunn, who just checked into the game for St. John's. Dunn, a senior from Brooklyn, is really taking on that leadership role. And as Posh pointed out, he looks to him and he says he's grateful that Dunn has taken him under his wing. And that relationship has been very important for St. John's recent success.
I'd be shocked if Villanova doesn't get one run in them in this game.
Champagny. Let's see if that run comes here. Robinson Earl, open look. Gets it back. That's his 7th offensive rebound, a new career high for Robinson Earl. Sweater for 3.
Good ball reversal, and that's what happens when you get an offensive rebound. A lot of times, it leads to a 3.
And that was the first offensive rebound of the half for Villanova.
Good job by Dunn being able to get that ball out of that trap at half court.
Brandon Slater hops off the bench, set to check in next whistle. Shot clock at 5, Adaiwusu. Tipped around by Moore, and he throws it out.
I think St. John's has to be careful to keep their foot on the gas.
It's hard to change who you are. You don't want to just try to milk the clock.
No,
that's
especially
not what they do.
Especially that's not who they are, and that's not how they got to where they are in this game.
Dunn guarding Gillespie.
But as long as they keep doing it on this end.
Samuels lays it in. 7 points in a row for Villanova, and the lead is down to 10.
I said it, that's how they are. They don't go easy. There's a reason why they've won 2 national titles in the last 4 years.
And Dunn is called for the foul. He got tangled up with Gillespie.
And let's face it, Andrew, the way Villanova normally shoots threes, 10 points, 5 minutes to go, It's not much.
Dawn doesn't like that call. And he'll stay out there for Mike Anderson. 4:50 to play. Samuels. Nowhere to go. Moore comes to get it. Shoots. And that three off the mark. Rebounded by Isaiah Moore. Each team with only one timeout remaining. Cole, step back three.
Tough
Air
shot.
ball out of bounds to Villanova.
Tough shot.
And Jay Wright is putting two of his starters back on the floor. Well, he had Daniels and Robinson Earl, but now Daniels takes his seat and Robinson Earl is the only one to come in.
Even though Jermaine Samuels hasn't played well, Jay's got a lot of trust in him.
Samuels had it poked away. Robinson Earl has it, and he is fouled before the shot. What's going on? Is Villanova going to make a run, or is St. John's going to pull it off? Find out when we come back.
College basketball on CBS Sports Network is sponsored by Sleep Number. Don't miss the ultimate Sleep Number event. Only at a Sleep Number store or sleepnumber.com.
Luke Carnesecca here in spirit. We told you about his conversation earlier today with Jay Wright. Carnesecca Arena, if there were fans here, man, they'd be rocking right now as we bring you tonight's player of the game. Brought to you by Old Trapper Beef Jerky and Steve Lapis. This was an easy call. It's Posh.
Really easy call. He started from the beginning of the game, making threes, making drives, assists, rebounds. He's got 3 turnovers, but I love this kid. And the thing I really love about more than anything else, the energy. That's the best. Like, if you ask me, what's Posh Alexander's best talent? I said, the energy. You can't teach that. That's him. That's who he is. And boy, he brings it.
Seems to be infectious for this St. John's team as Robinson Earl makes the front end of a 1-and-1. And this is the first time Nova has been within single digits since it was 37-29.
And you know, now that Villanova's scoring a little bit, St. John's has to score in the half court. So they've got to really start getting that half court offense going again.
The foul on St. John's before the break was on Isaiah Moore. That was his 4th. He remains out there for the Red Storm. He's got the ball over to Champagnie. Open look at a 3, and it's good for Julian Champagnie.
That is really good offense.
Eight points for Champagnie. He does have 10 rebounds tonight. Robinson Earl will take that and make it. A dozen for Robinson Earl. A 10-point game as we approach 3 minutes to go. Dunn comes to get it. Shot clock at 10.
Now they got to get something on a pick and roll.
Villanova needs a stop here. Dunn had it poked away. Good defense by Slater. Gillespie carries across. He's been ice cold tonight, and that sums it up for Colin Gillespie and Villanova. Turnover number 16 for Jay Wright's Wildcats.
Watch what happens when you throw out of a trap. We're going to stop it right there. Good pass out of the trap to the middle of the floor. Now once you have the ball in the middle of the floor, good things will happen right there. And Champagnie makes the open 3.
All 8 of Champagnie's points have come here in the second half.
You know, traps are good, but if you pass out of them, especially to the middle, you got big problems.
Champagny right at Robinson Earl, and he is fouled. Champagny, one of 3 in the Big East to be in the top 10 in points per game and rebounds per game, along with Mamu at Seton Hall and Zach Fremantle of Xavier.
You know, he hasn't had his best game, but he's coming on here in the last few minutes, and he does have 10 rebounds.
And yes, 8 and 10, and he can add to that here, is fine. But I think what it says is that the rest of this St. John's team is for real. I mean, they have picked him up tonight, and they're taking down number 3 Villanova with 2:12 to go.
Yeah, if you told me they could have a 15-point lead on Villanova with Champagny with 5 points, I'd say, hey, come on, there's no way.
This would be career win number 398 for Mike Anderson in his 19th season as head coach. It will be his signature victory in his short time at St. John's. Daniels.
Boy, they haven't given them anything open. Tough
Gillespie
shot.
still can't get one to fall. Saves it from going out. Moore over to Gillespie. Splits the defense. Extra pass to Samuels. His corner 3 won't go. He just can't shoot tonight.
Cannot shoot.
Nothing's going in.
You know what? There are some games, Andrew, where you're just off, and there are some games where the other team is making you off. This is a game where the other team is making Villanova off.
Right, taking nothing away from St. John's, but
they're off, no question.
Villanova is way off tonight. Moore from the outside, that won't go. Robinson Earl's 8th offensive rebound. And here is Daniels, who's fouled. Villanova leads the Big East, shooting 37% from deep tonight, just 7 for 28.
And weren't able to get into their characteristic half court. We'll drive it now, we'll kick it, make a 3, we'll drive it and get to the free throw line. Just taken out of all that. And Villanova only with 4 team fouls, so if they're gonna foul, they need to start fouling really quickly.
1:10 to play. St. John's trying to win its 5th consecutive game and make it 6 of the last 7.
Well, they gotta really go hard now, don't worry about fouling.
Alexander able to handle that one. Nice job by Posh.
Well, you gotta foul, otherwise the game's gonna be over.
They don't foul. Champagny had a block, gets it back and lays it in.
I'm surprised they didn't try one time to foul.
65-52.
Actually, they would have needed to foul 3 times.
Moore for 2, and Jay Wright will use his final timeout with 45 seconds to go. Earlier we showed you the list of victories for St. John's against teams in the AP top 3. Steve, you're in the Villanova Hall of Fame. You got to stop calling Nova St. John's games. We did that game in 2018. We got this one tonight.
Do me a favor. I'm going to have all the Villanova fans say, get this guy off the game.
They probably don't want to hear that we're going to call Villanova and St. John's again in a couple weeks. Unbelievable. What a win this would be for Mike Anderson in his 2nd year at St. John's.
And by the way, you were there too.
Yeah,
so
I know.
Yeah, this is an unbelievable win for Mike Anderson. This guy's coached a ton of games. I got to think that in his time at UAB, Missouri, Arkansas here, this is going to be up on the list of his best regular season wins. He's had a lot of great wins. He's been to the NCAA tournament a million times. I understand that. Regular season wins, what he's trying to do here, I'm going to guess this one's up there, especially coming off 3 Big East wins in a row on the road.
And look, big picture, Villanova's going to be fine. This is an off night. It'll be okay.
They're 1 or 2 seed at the worst.
Right, but you look at St. John's now, and this is a team that other guys are not going to want to face. The way that they play defense, the way they turn you over, their confidence right now is scary when you look around the Big East.
And they're starting to show they have a lot of weapons. You know, in the beginning of the year, really it was just Champagny. Now you got Champagny, you got Posh, you got Greg Williams back, you got Cole, you got Moore playing well. There's a lot of guys here.
A whistle before the inbound, a foul on Caleb Daniels.
But the big thing is, you take Villanova and they got 54 points. Can't guard them any better than that.
And 17 turnovers for Villanova tonight.
I didn't think that St. John's could impose their will on this team, but they sure did.
There's the foul committed by Justin Moore.
See, now that I don't understand. Now they got to give it. They should have given it before if that's what they wanted to do.
And only 6 team fouls on Villanova.
Yeah, they got to give another one now. You got to get this ball in bounds.
And there's the foul right away. It goes on Caleb Daniels again with 38.8 on the clock. Jay Wright had been 24-9 in his career against St. John's. And this will be Villanova's first road loss of the year. In fact, dating back to last year, Villanova has won 9 straight on the road.
In a lot of ways, it's too bad, as you said, the St. John's fans didn't get to see this, because this place would be going crazy.
The last 20 times they played at St. John's were at the Garden. As Jay Wright said, he couldn't even remember the last time he was in this building. Moore, nice spin move. Pass deflected. Now it's Daniels for 3, and that one will go. Villanova out of timeouts, down by 10. Dunn is fouled. That'll go on Slater.
Fouls on number 3, Brandon Slater, his 3rd, team's 8th.
Well, we mentioned that Jay Wright is hopeful that Brian Antoine will get back at some point, fighting off that shoulder injury. Another guy that's going to be very intriguing for Villanova is Trey Patterson, the Rutgers prep commit who enrolled this semester, joined Villanova a week ago. And Jay Wright told us this morning he's been very impressive in practice. You know, I think the plan was probably just to get him into their system, but maybe he's going to be on the floor at some point.
And Jay usually doesn't say things like that about guys. You know, doesn't hype guys so quickly.
First early enrollee in Wright's 20 seasons at Villanova.
And it's a free year, so why not? But they really do need another guard. They could have used another guard tonight.
Patterson's a 6'8" forward. Jay Wright said too early to tell, but we could tell by the way Jay was talking about him that he has really opened some eyes in practice so far.
At the line for St. John's is number 2, Julian Champagne.
I think the other thing to keep in mind with this Villanova team, and Jay Wright has echoed this, is that they're behind. I mean, it is February now, but when you miss as much time as they have, they are behind. And Jay even said that in the Seton Hall game on Saturday, he was mad at some uncharacteristic things his team was doing, and then he realized after the game, I got to back off because we haven't had the amount of time. We missed a month of action.
Yeah, I mean, the COVID thing has obviously been tough to sit out that long for them. It's hard to get into a regular rhythm, but you know, you kind of thought they were. They won 3 in a row, beat Seton Hall twice, who's good. But they came up against a team that knew what they wanted to do, and they did it.
Champagny comes out. He ended up with his 5th double-double of the season, including a career-high 13 rebounds. Chris Arcidiacono has come in. He's the younger brother of Ryan Arcidiacono. And Jay Wright saying no foul with 7 seconds to go. And St. John's takes down number 3 Villanova. A signature win for Mike Anderson.
Great win for this program.
They beat Villanova by 11. And it's their 4th win against a top 3 team since 1986. The last time they did it 3 years ago against then number 1 Villanova. Villanova's 9-game win streak comes to an end, and now St. John's has won 5 in a row. After starting Big East play 1-5, they're now 6-6 on the year.
And it'll be interesting to see, Andrew, where they go in the net. They were 82 in the net coming into this game, but when you beat a team that's that high in the net like Villanova was, who was number 6, they're going to jump a bunch of spots tomorrow.
First loss for Villanova since November 28th against Virginia Tech. Posh Alexander was great tonight for St. John's. And Coach Mike Anderson is joining us now. Coach, congratulations on the win. You told us yesterday it was going to be your strength against their strength in the turnover department, and you have to be pleased with what you did against Villanova tonight.
I'll tell you what, Villanova is a great basketball team, and Jay's an unbelievable coach, and it was just Johnny's night tonight. They came out swinging, and we were able to hang in there, and I thought our defense intensity picked up. I started making some shots, and how about our bench? I thought the guys that started out, they were really guarding Julian really hard. But it was good to see other guys, Posh step up, Vince Cole step up, just so many guys. That we had to have that kind of effort tonight, but total team effort, our guys are getting better.
That's what I was going to say, Coach. You know, your bench definitely did a great job, but, you know, watching you guys on TV and in the game here, that Posh Alexander, boy, he's got something special about him, that kid.
Well, I'll tell you what, and he kind of ignites us. You can see it. Our guys kind of follow his lead. It's kind of unusual for a freshman, but when you got one that kind of special, I think it makes sense. And I can't say enough about the leadership of this team with Rasheem, what he brings to the table. I think he really helps Posh in certain situations. But I'll say it again, our defense was the key to this game tonight. Villanova is a great shooting team, we know that. They didn't make any earlier, and I thought we kind of continue to try to apply the pressure.
Mike, last question. We were talking about this before, but for you personally, in terms of regular season victories, where does this rank in your career?
It was a big game. It's the next game on our schedule. We're playing against one of the more heralded programs, winning championships. So for us to be in our emphasis stage, to have that kind of win, it's signature, but it's another game against Villanova. It's a game in the Big East. The Big East is a beast, but at the same time, I won't knock our guys' effort. The effort was unbelievable, and we still got some good basketball in us. I think we can get better.
Mike, congratulations and good luck the rest of the way.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Mike Anderson and St. John's win their 5th consecutive game. What a win over number 3 Villanova. More to come on CBS Sports Network.